Hey guys, this time I'm just wanting to kind of throw an idea out there for you. I think it's about high time we get a Green Arrow video game. Reason I've been thinking this is, well, in Assassin's Creed 3 you had the whole bow and arrow mechanic and it was about perfect. I mean, you could use a little bit more work, a little more refining, but if we could take that kind of programming that they did for the Assassin's Creed 3 bow and arrow use there, and then work that into a Green Arrow story with the color schemes and all that stuff, just to make it Green Arrow-esque type stuff, I really think that would be a great game. That'd be a game that people would want to buy. I mean, especially now that we got Arrow being such a popular TV show, and it's just out there enough. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying make an Arrow TV show video game. I'm sure it's a great show, but I don't really think it's video game material. It's just my opinion. If you think otherwise, by all means. But what I'm thinking is, do something like with the Dark Archer and a couple of his. I'm thinking kind of do something similar like how the Deadpool game was done, story-wise. But use the gameplay mechanics of of the Assassin's Creed 3 bow and arrow mechanics. I think that could work. And then honestly, I mean, if I remember correctly, the way they did, when we're talking about Green Arrow, the way he moves around on buildings and whatnot, if you just took an assassin's ability to run around on buildings and whatnot, and tone it down a little bit so it's not so superpower kind of like, I think you could just take the Assassin's Creed gameplay, take off all the stuff that makes an assassin, the hidden knives and the swords and all that stuff, and just make it bows and arrows with trick shots type stuff. You can make a pretty decent game. I'm thinking the hardest part at this point would be just getting a good story, and then making sure that there's a way to make the actual bow and arrow stuff feel fun, not repetitive. That's probably the two hardest parts, is the story and a way to avoid it being repetitive. And even if, there's a lot of good games out there that are repetitive. Assassin's Creed 1 was incredibly repetitive, and yet it still kickstarted a franchise that people are paying out the butt for. So, it's just because the game's repetitive on its first go doesn't mean that it's going to be a failure. So I'm thinking, let's get a Green Arrow video game out there. I think this is about time for us to get one out, especially with the popularity of this TV show. So let's do it. Let's get this out there. Let's get the forums and all popping. Let's get people talking about it. Let's see if we can get somebody to say, let's do this. Alright guys, that's all I really had to say about that, so ciao.